Hi everybody, in this video I'd like to show you how to install the VirtualBox guest additions to your Fedora Scientific virtual machine. This will give you a number of features that are really handy, like integration with your Windows or Mac operating system. Before we do that, start up VirtualBox like this, but before we boot up your VM, let's make sure that the CD drive is empty. You're going to click on the settings there, go to storage here, and make sure that this CD is empty. If you happen to have left the Fedora Live Scientific installation disk in there, you just go to this little CD icon here and click Remove Disk from Drive. So make sure that that's empty. Okay, then we're going to start up our virtual machine. I'm using one of many that I have cloned. This is a fresh, clean install, just like you should have currently. In a minute, your machine should be booted up, and you can see my graphical user interface here with my home folder and my trash bin. Also, you'll notice that on my laptop, at least, my virtual machine display is a bit bigger than my laptop display, so I have to scroll to see the whole screen. The guest additions will solve that problem for us. First of all, though, have a look around here. Let's open up this home folder. This is very much like a Windows or a Mac machine. Home is your default folder. Here you see the usual things. Here's your desktop folder, documents, downloads, music, pictures, etc. First, I'm going to scroll down here and look at this kickoff application launcher, the F button here. If I click on this, this is kind of like the start ball on a Windows machine. You have some favorite applications and files and so forth that you can put here. Applications are all the programs on this machine, and they're conveniently organized by the type of application they are. We have your computer here, system administration settings. Here is recently used folders or programs. Finally, if you need to shut down, we have the leave button here. Once you go to this applications tab, if I click on that, it will make it stay. The application that I want you to start up is under System. So you're going to click on System and then scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see these two terminal icons. We want the K console terminal. Before you launch it, or if you accidentally launched it after you launch it, right click on it to get this little drop down menu and click Add to Panel. Notice a little icon popped up here on this bottom bar. This is called the panel, and that allows us to quick launch the terminal from here. We're going to use this all the time. So I clicked on the desktop background there to get rid of that menu, and I'm going to start my terminal. Again, I have to scroll up to see everything. What this does is give us a text-based command prompt. We can type commands at this prompt. This is called the prompt, and the machine is waiting for commands from us, Unix commands. So I'll teach you your very first Unix command, the ls command. Type ls and then hit enter, and you can see a list. That's what ls stands for, a list of all of the things in your home folder or your home directory. Folders in Unix are called directories. So desktop, documents, downloads, etc. Everything that you can see here with the graphical interface, you can also see with the text-based version here. A couple more basic Unix commands. How do we know what directory we are in? We use the pwd, present working directory command. Type pwd and hit enter, and you can see that we are in /home/jhetrick. That is my default home directory. Another thing I can do is figure out who did I log in as. If I type the who am I command, one word, and hit return, I see my username, jhetrick. So those are just some very simple Unix commands that we can type at the prompt. To install the guest additions, however, we need to be the administrator on this machine. We need to be the root user or the super user. And in order to change to the super user account, we issue the su command, super user, type enter. The machine will ask you for the root password. So you should remember this from when you installed your machine. And I type the root password, and notice that in the prompt my name here changed from jhetrick at localhost to root at localhost. Localhost is the name of this machine for the moment. And I am in the jhetrick directory. The other thing that happened is that the end of the prompt changed from a $sign to a £sign. That's another way to tell that you are the root user. Okay, now as root, we can delete any file we want. We can look at any file. We have complete administrative privileges. We are going to use the Fedora package installer called Yum, Y-U-M, to install a couple of packages that we need in order to install the VirtualBox guest editions. So at the prompt here, we're going to type yum space install space dkms space kernel devel space kernel headers. So we want to install the dkms module, the kernel development module, and the kernel headers using yum. So your command line should look like that. Type enter, and yum will go away and check some repositories, look up these where these packages are, what their current versions are, whether they will work with your version of Fedora, etc. And you should get a prompt like this. I have to scroll down here a little bit, waiting to check that it's okay that you install these. Type Y for yes and enter, and it will download those packages and then go through the installation process. Okay, when this is finished, you should see the complete exclamation sign there, and that tells you that we were successful in installing those packages. Notice that this information button here is notifying you about a variety of things. There are some updates to install and so forth. We've installed those packages, and so now we're ready to install the VirtualBox guest editions. To do that, we're going to go up here to the main VirtualBox menu bar here and click on Devices and scroll down to the bottom and insert the guest edition CD image into the virtual CD drive. So click on that. Pretty soon over here on the right side, disk options box will pop up, and the VirtualBox editions have been loaded onto the machine. You can also go back up here to the File Explorer, the Dolphin File Explorer, and see that on the side here, which is keeping track of various places that you might visit, that the VirtualBox editions have shown up here. If I click on that, I can see the contents of the VirtualBox editions CD here in the window. What we need to do is run these things, and if you try and run these by clicking on them, you'll find out that you can't. Try and run it, it pops things up, but here it says this program must be run with administrator privileges, so we can't do that. I hit return to lose that window. However, in this terminal window, we are the root user, so we just have to find this file in our text-based way and run these programs. To do that, we're going to CD, change directory, to the VirtualBox Editions CD. We do that by typing CD space /run /media / and then your username, like that. If I do an ls to see what directory, what the contents of this directory are, you can see that here is the VirtualBox Editions CD. So I'm going to CD into that folder by typing CD space and then all caps Vbox. Now here's a trick. If you just hit tab, it will recognize that that's the only thing that matched Vbox, and so it will expand that and complete the thing that you were typing. So I do that and type enter, and now I'm sitting in that VirtualBox Editions CD. Type ls and you can see the commands that are there. And now we are root, so we can run these programs. I'm going to type ./, that means in this current directory run the following command: v, capital B, lowercase ox, capital LIN, Vbox Linux. I'm going to hit tab because what I'm trying to do is match that file there. So at the prompt you should have ./, Vbox Linux editions.run. Hit enter. Notice that we needed to have these DKMS modules installed that we installed with yum. Once the VirtualBox guest editions are installed, we'll have to reboot. Okay, so that looks like it has worked. We got all OKs, so that looks good. We need to exit being root, so we type exit at the prompt. That takes us back to being the standard user, Jhetrick in my case. I want to exit from this terminal window by typing exit. I'm going to go up and close this window and go down and find our kickoff launcher here, click leave and shut down. Yes, I do want to turn off the computer, and I'll let that boot down. I think that's closed up. Click the X there, power off the machine. And now I'm going to go back here, go to my storage, and take this drive out of there so that that's empty again, and start this machine back up with the guest editions added. Log in as you normally would. Okay, my machine is up and running and I'm logged in. Interestingly, my virtual machine now fits within my laptop desktop, but we can make it even better than that. If we go up here to view and click on this, we have a number of different view modes that we can do. If I click switch to full screen, I get this pop-up window telling me about the host command. The host command is a special key that will take me back to my main computer. And the host command on a Windows machine is the right control key. On a Macintosh, I forget exactly what it is, I'll have to look that up. I think it's one of the Apple keys. But if I type the right control button, which is the host key, and home at the same time, that will take me back to my main menu bar. Okay, as I said before, I have these pop-up notices coming up. So I'm going to switch to full screen now. Very nice. I can see that my VirtualBox now has taken over my entire window. If I type the right control button and home on my machine, I pop up this little guy again, which gives me access to the VirtualBox. And I want to go back to the scaled mode, which is the mode where things are in a window. Okay, looks like it scaled it down a little smaller this time, even still. That's a little too hard to see. However, if I type the right control and home again, the view that I really want to use is the seamless mode. If I click that, it looks like my VirtualBox machine has disappeared. However, I have this bar down here. Now, I actually prefer to have that bar up at the top. If you click the very right side of the panel, that's what this thing is called. The panel is this bar. It will pop this up, and I can click on this screen edge and drag the panel up to the top. Now I have this bar at the top as opposed to the Windows bar, which is at the bottom. And then I'll click the X here to get rid of the configuration system. I can also close down my virtual machine because I'm not going to be running that. If I scroll down to here, I actually have access to the VirtualBox menu items here. But look at what this does for me. Now at the top of my screen I have my Unix applications. So for instance, I might start an arcade game, a Unix arcade game going, and at the same time I'm going to start Firefox under Windows. So this browser is running under Windows. This game is running under Unix. So I have both worlds coexisting in a completely seamless setting. That's what the VirtualBox guest editions have given for us. Another thing I can do is pop up a terminal window here, and so now I have my terminal windows. You can see that there's a little bit of a kind of a kludge whenever you move windows, but that's no problem at all. That's the VirtualBox guest editions for you. We'll pick it up here with the next video.